The resource persons of this second session, Dr. Abhinav Kant. Dr. Abhinav Kant is working as in charge for Bamboo and Cane Development Institute, Agartala. He has an experience of 15 years in bamboo sector, starting from production to consumption. His work is focused on development of different skill modules, bamboo treatment and primary processing, education, training and extension, and value addition and consultancy. The next resource person, Peter Van Langen, is a bioarchitect working with natural materials to make healthy buildings. He is very active in both Brazil and Mexico, doing many social projects and high-end residential projects. He has been experimenting with bamboo since 2003 and in 2018 was made Bamboo Ambassador for Brazil by the World Bamboo Organization.
During bus 5 times. Right, exactly. We meet again. How many of you? Exhibition is also given. No. Yeah, yes, sir. Tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second session. May we now invite the chair of the second session, Dr. Bharti Nambi. We also invite the resource persons of this session, Abhinav Kant and Peter Van Langen, to take your respective seats on the dais. Dr. Didi Haukip, IFS State Mission Director, Bamboo Mission, to kindly felicitate the chair and the two resource persons of this session, Dr. Didi Haukip. Felicitation of the chair and the two resource persons of the session by Shri P. Vaifeng, Principal Secretary, felicitating the chair and the two resource persons of the second session. Thank you so much. Before the chair takes the time, the reporters to kindly take your places, the two reporters, and may we now request Dr. Didi Haukip, IFS State Mission Director, Bamboo Mission, to speak a few words.
उसका एक इकोलॉजिकल रिसोर्ट टाइप का भी कर सकते हैं
Dr. Didi Haukip to be felicitated. And now Dr. Didi Haukip to speak a few words.
First, I have already told two items to be done before this technical session. The first one is the signing of the MOU by Forest Department and Growmore Biotech, Hosur, and the Principal Secretary, Commerce Industries, and the PCCF. They all have to come up here for the signing. And then our friend from Korea, Balbia, please come. After this signing of the MOU, then the advisor of Northeastern Council, Shigai Gongde, will have a brief speech for 10 minutes. Please come up. PCCF sir also should come up here, please. The Forest Department and Growmore Biotech will sign an MOU regarding establishment of tissue culture lab and the field plantation.
We shall now felicitate Shri K. Angami IFS, Principal Chief Conservator of Forests, Government of Manipur, and Financial Advisor Notice, Shri Gaigongdin Panme.
We will now do the signing of the MOU between the Forest Department and the Gromor Biotech Hospital in Nadu.
Okay.
This will give us a quality planting material, QPM sufficient for Manipur state, and even we can supply to the northeast region. So this is a very important thing for bamboo development in the northeast. Because seeds are not, we don't get seed bearing every year. To get seed is very rare. So once we have this sufficient tissue cultural lab plants, QPMs, then I think we can have very good planting material for the processing units and the future industry, bamboo industry in the northeast. Yeah, I think we can come straight here and then.
Ahí tawag. सेंटर कैमरा पाइए सेंटर कैमरा पाइए
The MOU part is over now. I'll request Sri Gaigongdin Panme, the Financial Advisor to Northeastern Council, which is co-sponsoring this workshop. I mean, he's also bamboo enthusiast. Besides his profession, but he has special interest in bamboo. So he would like to share something for development of bamboo in the Northeast. Please.
I want to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. First of all, I want to acknowledge the presence of the President of World Bamboo Organization and the Executive Director, and also the Principal Secretary, Government of Manipur, Industry, Director Industry, Principal Chief Conservator of Forest, and many other senior officers, and also the most important stakeholders of this meeting, that is the participants. And I can see that there are a lot of experts in bamboo sector, and particularly because of your presence, I think I consider myself as very privileged to be here. I want to say a few words about the role of North-Eastern Council, Government of India, Ministry for Development of North-Eastern Region. We call it as DONA. I am representing the organization from Shillong. Without really going into other details, I would like to come straight to the point. Some of you may know, and some may not be really aware of the policy of the Government of India as far as bamboo is concerned. We all know that Northeast is the biggest reserve of bamboo in the entire country. There are actually 3 organizations in the Government of India which are looking after bamboo sector. One is that we all know, under the Ministry of Agriculture, we have a mission called National Bamboo Mission. And we have the State Mission Director, Mr. T.T. Hawkyub, who is one of the organizers of this workshop. And the second is under the Ministry of Science and Technology. It is called National Mission for Bamboo Application. It is under the Prime Minister's office. And the office, actually the center is situated right in the campus of IIT Delhi. This organization, National Mission for Bamboo Application, specializes in developing commercialized or commercial technology so that we can commercialize bamboo products. And we also have Development Commissioner for Handicraft, which promotes funds and also looks after the handicraft sector from bamboo. So these are the 3 very important organizations under the Government of India who are looking after the development and anything related to bamboo in the country. So here there is North-Eastern Council based in Shillong, which actually is the regional planning and also the funding body. And I would like to let you know that we have new guidelines approved in 2018. And this guideline lays down specifically that bamboo will be the core mandate of, among the core mandates of North-Eastern Council. So the prospect is very bright in the sense that we'll be happy to be the main stakeholder for developing bamboo sector in the region. So apart from that, we have heard about the potential for bamboo in many sectors. But we do have a little practical problem in Northeast, which I would like to highlight so that all of us are aware of the problems that we are facing. I was talking to our respected ex-ambassador, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, about this as well. So the first is that we're talking about bamboo cultivation. We've come to realize that the species available in Northeast are not really good for industrial use. So we may have to bring in different species and may have to cultivate them. But the present policy of the Government of India is that we can only cultivate bamboo in bamboo can be actually cultivated only in non-forest area. This is applicable only for Northeast. There is no proper classification of land and and forest notice in this particular policy. So the problem is that the entire area of notice is considered to be forest area. So that means even under the National Bamboo Mission, we cannot cultivate or we cannot plant. This is one issue that we need to sort it out. So I would request the workshop to take this point up, and I think we'll have to press upon the authorities, the competent authorities, to revisit this particular policy, and if required, we can request them to amend it so that the forest area can be classified, categorized, because we have a lot of degraded forest. We practice Zooming cultivation or shifting cultivation. So in order to regenerate the degraded forest, or the deforested area can be reforested or forested again through bamboo cultivation only. So this particular rider is applicable only for notice. I really don't know. The policy makers may have a lot of wisdom in bringing this about, but I think we can always request them, bring this up to revisit. And the other issue that we have is we have been talking about bamboo all the time, but we have not really thought about the technology intervention, particularly in the region. We have Dr. Avinash, who is going to speak after me. He is looking after the Institute of Bamboo and Cane Development based in Agartala. So during the last DT Forum meeting, there is the new Avatar Planning Commission of India who have discussed that we need an IIT kind of institution in Northeast. There is National Institute for Bamboo Development. So it should be at the level of, it should be a national institute, it should be an iconic institute. So we somehow have, I think, managed to put that into the agenda or in the minutes of the last DT Forum, and I think we need to follow that up. Once we have that, I think we can take bamboo or whatever, bamboo technology or whatever, forward. Without technology intervention, it would be very difficult for actually us to get down to the grounds and translate all this talks and deliberation into action. That's another thing, so we can follow that up. And the Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister of India is taking around at the moment, soliciting ideas from stakeholders and experts. So he had visited Northeastern Council recently. We have brought this up, the difficulties and some of the barriers that we're facing, particularly in the cultivation of bamboo. So we brought this up. I'm sure they may also visit the government of Manipur. If that is the case, then I would request all the senior officers to bring this up as well. And the Forest Department of Government of Manipur is really aware of these issues already. So apart from that, there is nothing much for me to say. But since the representative from INBAR is also here, apart from the World Bamboo Organization, I would like to talk about one thing that we have always have a tendency to miss out. In the earlier meetings that we have in CBDC, that is Center for Bamboo and Cane Development Center, I have raised this issue because we've been talking about bamboo all the time, and we have forgotten cane. So let us remember that without cane, bamboo development will be incomplete. Handicraft will not be complete without cane. So we have to think about cultivation of cane, development of cane, because bamboo and cane go hand in hand. So NEC is there to support you if there are good proposals coming from the state, or even from the institutes owned by the Government of India, or even from the NGOs, or even from the societies. We will be there and we will be happy to assist and handhold, including financing such kind of venture. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you for this time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving a wonderful introduction to Northeast. And because we are running very short of time now, I request my best friend, Dr. Abhinav. He is a man with several years of hands-on experience. I think he has trained over hundreds of people in bamboo sector, and he has been doing a wonderful job. Let's hear from him. Dr. please.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. I am Abhinav Kant and working for Bamboo and Cane Development Institute, which is in a very near to this state, Manipur, that is the state Tripura. And the topic of my today's talk is need of skill, speed and scale in bamboo handicrafts. The thing is, we have to give our appropriate skill, and accordingly, after giving that skill, how we can make product in a speedy way and where we can achieve the scales, what we have to do. Yeah, so starting from, I'm just showing you my history or the heritage of this institute. The institute was set up in 1974, and this is the oldest institute set up by Government of India, which is working for skill development in bamboo and cane handicraft. And in this map you can see it covers north, south, east, west, all the states of the country. And since institute is in northeast, maximum intervention and raw material is also maximum in this area. So maximum intervention is in northeast. Approximately 1600 artisans were trained in last 30 years. From Tripura, and after that maximum artisans are from Manipur. That is approximately 240 artisans from Manipur. And this was a training not of like 5 days, 10 days, 15 days. This was an integrated training for 6 months. Artisan or the participants, they come, they travel, they come to that Agartala and they stay with us for 6 months. Unfortunately, nowadays this training is not there. The thing is, nobody wants to invest their 6 months for a skill development training program. In this digital era, everything should be very fast. So, for this skill module also, people need it very fast. And accordingly, we have changed our module and our time duration. In handicrafts, there is the highest award in country, which is President Award. And maximum President Awardee artisans are from Tripura. There are about 18 President Awardee artisans in Tripura, and out of 18, 14 are the pass-out trainees of BCDI. So this is our heritage. We talk about IITs, IIMs, they talk that we have our alumni at CEO in this MNC. So whenever I'm going to present my institute, we tell this is our heritage. These are the master trainers or the artisans which have incredible skill. And they are all President Awardee Shilp Guru. Now this is a picture why I am standing here. Before 2004, I have never seen bamboo. Because I am from a state which is a desert state. So when I was traveling to Dehradun, first I have seen this bamboo and I fall in love with this. And because of that, I am still bachelor. So this is a huge tropical bamboo. It is really a very magnificent plant. And the fact is, India is the largest growing area It's like 15.69 million hectare. No other country have this bamboo growing area. And that is the area wise, but with the production, we are second in place. China is first. And by diversity, we have about 135 to 150 species growing in the country. Now the problem with handicraft sector is, like, we do have the largest bamboo growing area, but the productivity is very less. Reason, all the resources are confined to forest. We have not yet done plantation activity on high density plantation, on desired species plantation. We are still dependent on forest. So that is the area where we have to look towards, and again we have to work on the desired bamboo species. Now, this is the youngest country. India is the youngest country on globe, and second, every second Indian is below 29 years. And this is very much evident in the hall. I can see very young people in this hall. Even I belong to the old India now. And this is why we call it as New India, a young India. Now, this young India, there is an aspiration, they need employment, they need livelihood opportunity, where bamboo can play some role. We have abundant resources, we have young population, so we can use this to develop a niche where both can grow. Now, what is the need? To develop bamboo, we cannot address a single issue. We need a holistic approach, starting with the material, raw material, bamboo. What bamboo we have to grow, which area we have to grow, and what product we are going to make. Again, we have to train our manpower, human resource. This, if we are talking about product development activity, this is very much a blue-collar job. You need to have a hands-on activity. You have to smell and eat dust, bamboo dust, so that is a process. So that human resource we have to develop. Then, what is the technology available? How we can use that technology for our product development activity, and where is the market? What product we have to make? We cannot make anything and we can take it in the market and the product we are not able to sell. So these are the important 4 M's. Now it comes skilling India. It's about the skill, how to give a skill, what type of skill module. So here I am specifically talking only on handicraft skill. Presently we are giving 5 skill modules, which is furniture, basketry, bamboo, jewelry, turning products and utility products. Like for bamboo furniture, what type of bamboo? For product development activity, this is very much bamboo specific, or you can say species specific product development activity. We cannot make product from any bamboo. We have certain specific species requirement for a particular product activity. So in furniture, we use nearly solid and high density bamboo, where we are using whole bamboo. We are using the whole bamboo, treated bamboo. What type of joints we have to make, what type of glue we have to use. These are very much important things. And these are the training where we are giving how to straight that bamboo by heat treatment, or either we can band also. How to use jigs for uniform production. What type of glue we have to use, and how to read a drawing, that are very important. How to read the drawing and selection of material, these are very important issues which is being taught during those trainings. So this is a detailed drawing where participant learn to know how to read this drawing and how to select out material from the raw material. These are some of the products of bamboo. This is a jig where we are using a frame, and in that frame the trainees learn how to make uniform pieces. And this is during the training program just to show the uniformity. This is 100% handmade. There is just power tools or hand operated tools. So this is nearly similar Handmade products are, we can decrease the ununiformity, we can work towards the uniformity of that thing. So these pictures are showing about the uniformity. Sorry. Now, this is the beauty of bamboo. Exceptional bendability with no compromise on strength. This material is made up of 100% bamboo. The colors gives them aesthetics and a new appeal. These are furniture made up of whole bamboo. The table, the bending, everything is made up of bamboo. In furniture, we are also working on stackability. Stackability is a very important issue whenever we are looking towards transportation. So the product, and even if we are storing it in our house, a stackable product is easy to store. So stackability is an important aspect. We can split bamboo and use that bamboo to mold that material. So molding can also be utilized in making furniture. Now this is a stool. The height is about 1 feet or 12 inches. Transportation is an issue. Transporting from northeast to the mainland, again, it takes a lot of cost. And when we transport this stool, it also carries a lot of volume, air. So we have to pay for that air also. So for that, we have to work towards the knockdown version. Any bamboo furniture can be knocked down. What we have to use the right breaking points and the modular nuts and bolts. So this is a detailed exposed drawing where we can decrease the volume, and final packing, instead of 12 inches, it goes down to 3 inches. Now towards the bamboo basketry. Basketry is already a very good traditional skill available in all the 8 states of Northeast. Every state have their own basketry skill and they are using it for traditional purpose. The thing is how we can use this skill for further value addition, for commercial aspect. And here we are also introducing some colors. It may be a organic color or it may be a chemical color. So during those trainings, how to make the uniform product as much as possible, how to color those slivers, how to make different types of weaving patterns. So these are the patterns and the colors. Now you have to play with the colors and different weaving patterns, and you have infinite number of combinations where you can work on product development activities. These are some of the contemporary basketry and weaving product can be used for making lamp, laundry basket. These are some of the basketry products where using different weaving skill and further value addition. Now bamboo is a hollow material. We can use the nature's design. It is already a container, hollow container. So how we can use this material for further value addition? So it's a turning product. We can use a turning machine and do that turning product and make different types of holders, flower vase, pan stands. So these are certain turning products which can be worked out with bamboo. Now this is very interesting, like jewelry products. These natural fiber can be used for making jewelry, where we can have a fusion of bamboo, some textile, silk and other available local material. We have classified our jewelry in 4 categories. One is the weaved jewelries, which we call it as jhumka, small jhumkas. Then we have a coiling technique where we make earrings. Then we have jig jewelry where we cut down small motifs from bamboo and making jewelry. And then we are using branches for making earrings. So these are the drawings where we can use bamboo. We can cut bamboo in different dimensions. This is just a assembly thing where we can use this different motifs for further value addition. We can cut obliquely. These are again different products. Now these are the different dimensions and the different options where we can play with color and weaving pattern. These are all with a pendant and 2 earrings, ring form, jhumkas. Again, we can cut down jigs, we can cut down the pieces, we can do hand painting and certain other value additions. These are again different types of earrings. We are using it by making dyes and weaving. These are again jewelry. This is handmade painting, and this is the most simplest thing. We can cut down material cross-sectionally and we can give a different shapes and make those pendants. Bangles are other options where we are using weaving pattern for further value addition. We are using thread for value addition. Now, like jewelry are tested, these products are also being tested. This is a photograph from Korea. So these are the products which were tested by that buyer just to find out whether there are some points or there are certain fibers coming out. So these are very much important. When we are using these jewelries, these are, they can hurt. So we have to be very careful what type of material and what finishes we require. These are bamboo utility product and skill training where we are making different utility product, tabletop functional product, which we can use for day-to-day activities. Now, this is a very interesting photograph, Mozo. Mozo, which is a boom for bamboo industry, not in India, it's in China. So, what we can do, we can bring back Mozo, we can plant here. Is it so? So when we bring Mozo, it comes like this. This is a proud farmer. He's watching his Mozo in a very professional way, and this is how it is coming up here. So we cannot cut, copy, paste that development model to our place. We do have our own resources. We have our indigenous bamboo. Now, the thing is, we have to find it out. We have to work it out. The first option is just as straight as Mozo. And this is just at par with Mozo. The thing is, we need plantation. We need large scale plantation so that we have the ready material. This is the technology bamboo processing machine. These are the only processing machines which are available in the sector. It's in Taiwan, it's in China, it's in Vietnam. And ultimately what these machines do, they do processing. They never make product. They do processing, they do splitting, they make slats. We can have these 4x10 slats. So now what we are going to do this material. So this is where the technology can help in developing a supply chain. These machines can process material and supply these process material to the producer groups, where these producer group will develop different products according to the material supplied. And these producers and these small self-help groups, they are going to use these hand tools or power operated hand tools. Now the assembly part, they do not need big machines processing unit. So even NEC has funded a very good project setting up of these processing units in all the states of Northeast. Now these processing units will supply those process material to the SHGs, and those SHGs will later on do that value addition. Now the intervention what we need is product development and supply chain management. Supply of treated and processed material through these CFCs or processing material is a very important thing. Now again, the competitive price and acceptable finish and timely delivery is very important. Timely delivery, whenever we have an order, export order or even a domestic order, timely delivery is very important and finish is also very important. Innovation in functional product. We have to work out on products which we can use day-to-day activity, so that it, in a due course of time, it gets consumed and there is again a demand in the market. So that is very important, functional product. Value enhancement by giving some prophylactic treatments, coloring, those things, and product specific scale up training. I feel a lot of designers are also sitting here. The thing is, the drawing, when we make a drawing and when the first prototype is on the floor, that is not the job done. From there, the job starts. Now we have to develop the process, how we can cut down the production cost, how to make that material production friendly and that design production friendly. So we have to focus on Z products, zero effect and zero defect products. So, and bamboo is a very promising raw material for that. And now I am going to show some of the products which we are working for functional product. This is a laptop stand which is made up of bamboo slats. So, you can supply these bamboo slats and the assembly part, they cut down and fix it out. Very simple. This is a foldable, you can carry it in laptop bag. This is again a tray. These are the drawings what we supply to the producer group, detailed drawings, so that they can know how to make that product. So what to do, how to do, and there are jigs also to make uniform production. These are placemats. Then using those slats, how to use that machine process slats to make these frames. This is all. There is no need of big machines. We need a processing unit, and later on that processing unit supply that material to a producer group. In Tripura, there is a very specific use of bamboo. We make loom mat. Rural artisan, they make that loom mat, just putting bamboo stick with thread. So how to use that loom mat in a more functional product, that is again a very important thing. Here we are making bamboo food basket, vanity basket, laundry basket. So different types of basket making, loom mat as well as bamboo slats. So this is a process by which the artisan makes these products, and these are all uniform and production friendly. So we have to scale up that activity. We cannot stop by making prototype or just few copies of product. Again, using that slat and using different types of cloth, even papers to make value-added product. These are lighting system, and in handicraft sector, lighting system has always a very great demand. This is a camouflage. This lamp can change color with your interiors. Two sides there is handmade textile. So according to your room aesthetics, you can change that textile cloth. So after a few days, if you want to change, you can change the color of that textile. Again, we can use very generic technology which are available in the domain, and that is already there. Photochemical machining is one of them, where we can etch metal plate and we can make any intrinsic design pattern and take out those cutouts and overlay on that bamboo. That will again value add that product. This product we call it as Napo Kato Jodo. Measure it, cut it and fix it. As simple as that. We have industrial product bamboo mat board. There are certain industries which are making bamboo mat board. And we are using it for making ceiling, roofing only, that structure things. But we can also use it for functional product, where we are just taking that material like a ply board or any other board and making baskets. So these are again a different category. This is a perspective view where we have made a collection, office table collection of different A4 size table, file cover, card holder, pen stand, photo frame, and a complete packaging. So this is a packaging there. Again, we can do that slat for making single layer ply also, and this can also be done in a rural area. And this is again a hand printed. We can have an imagination anywhere, Mahatma Gandhi to Marilyn Monroe. So again, these are next gen products where we are using bamboo as a whole. Aesthetics are there. We can change the color. Now there is an example. This is any product which is available on Amazon is the successful product. So this is a scalable functional product. This is a bamboo mobile amplifier. You can put on Amazon bamboo mobile amplifier and you will get this thing. And you can see the price is 675. So once we got a query, buyer need 9,000 pieces of this bamboo. It's a hot selling material nowadays. So the problem is we went to different producer group and we asked them that somebody needs 9,000 pieces. So nobody is interested. They are saying 500 no, 100, 200 maximum, and that took 25 days or 1 month.
Dr. Abhinav,
so in bamboo product development activity, we have to focus on the value chain, where we have a processed material, treated material, seasoned material, and which part of bamboo we can use it for certain product development activity. So this is how this material is made. We have a design outreach thing where we go to different places and do these type of things. There is some problem in display. In design outreach, we go to the cluster area, and according to the raw material availability and according to the skill of the artisan, we give our intervention. And there we are doing that activity. This is from Barpeta. Right now we have a project going on at Andaman. We do some local arrangement also, like if there is no treatment available, so how we can do treatment in the local area availability.
Is there any problem?
Then for market linkage, we have a sister organization and we have a very close association with Export Promotion Council of Handicraft, EPCL, where they have different buyer-seller meets and international fair and exhibitions. This is an IFJAS, International Fashion Show on Jewelry and Accessories, where bamboo-based jewelry is being promoted. This happens every year in Delhi. We do work on bamboo education, where in collaboration with Tripura University, we are working from last 9 years on a 1-year postgraduate diploma course on bamboo cultivation and resource utilization, right from introduction of bamboo, different bamboo varieties, how to use, propagation of those bamboos, how to treat those bamboos, how to use these processing machine for processing of bamboo, cross-cut spreading, knot removing, seasoning. Then we have a classroom how we can make bamboo board, bamboo charcoal, edible purpose, already talked on that, pickles, shoe processing. Each training program is very much started with morning yoga classes to make the people fit, model making, entrepreneurship, and skit making. This is all the part of the course. We do have an international training program where we did work for Bhutan, our neighboring country. We did it for Ethiopia. So these participants traveled from Ethiopia, came to Tripura and get that exposure and training. This is from Zimbabwe. We do have an industrial association with IKEA. We do have a bamboo processing board manufacturing unit. So any investor want to supply IKEA, they can bring their bamboo at our facility. We can make that prototype. They need this chopping board and butcher board. So you can test your locally available bamboo for these industrial products. These are the designs for making bamboo shades. Now we are also working on bamboo nursery management and propagation. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Abhinav. Wonderful. You have taken us through a entire presentation. It's beautiful what kind of work you're doing there, and then it has reached everywhere. And because of short of time, I request Mr. Peter van Langen to talk about his work. He's dirtied his hand with the soil to make a bamboo together into a beautiful place. And he's going to tell us a very nice love story. Thank you.
Hello. Good afternoon. Thank you for the introduction, and glad to be here at the World Bamboo Workshop in Imphal, Manipur. I'm going to talk about how I became a bamboo lover, so to speak. I mean, it really is a romantic experience, and I hope there's some architects here in the audience. I don't like podiums, so I'm just going to walk around the stage if that's all right. Are there any architects in here? Many? Few? Okay, terrific. After this and a couple more talks, we will be out in the back building, so we can all join together later on and build the pavilions. Basically what I do is I make architecture more organic or more agricultural or more vegetable, that would be the word. In Latin America we call bamboo the vegetable steel, or el acero vegetal. So we have, that's kind of the idea, with all the problems we have today with pollution, and mainly the problems we have with health. I think everyone here, or at least in my country, everything I'm referring to is always going to be Brazil, Mexico, which are the two countries I work in. And we have big problems with cancer, we have big problems with Alzheimer and Parkinson's and many, many diseases, or many of these modern sicknesses that are affecting everyone. And one of the main causes is obviously our diet, and then the pollution, and then obviously where we live. So there's a movement in Latin America of yoga. In fact, there's a lot of stuff coming from India. We have yoga, we have meditation, and that's kind of to fix your body and fix your mind. And there's a lot of organic food production, and not big numbers, it's all teeny percentages, but it's always growing. So people are looking to find a healthier food source, and water is a really big issue. To get clean water in Mexico is really complicated. And in fact, I was speaking a lot about water because water is very important with bamboo and also with mud. So, so then we have these health issues, and then we go to the pharmacy. And the pharmacy, we know, is not really going to cure you. It's just going to make you sicker, and it's kind of like going to patch one problem and then create another. And then another, and then they give you more drugs, and before you know it, you're taking 15 drugs every morning, and another 15 before you go to sleep. So that's not really curing you, that's not really health. So then we have this movement where people are starting to go back to teas, and to plants, and to fruits, and to minerals, finding natural things. And then the third process would be your home. So that's where we come in. That's where bioarchitecture is where you build healthy homes. Because most of the materials in modern architecture are toxic. We have toxic paint, we have toxic varnishes, we have toxic like drywall, and all these lights, all these like mercury lights and all these things, all the Wi-Fi and all the televisions and all these things are all emitting radiation. And now, to make things worse, they're going to introduce, they've just done it in Europe, G5. So now we have G5, which gives you nausea, headaches, nosebleeds, etc., etc., etc. So we're just looking at a lot of health issues are based on the home. So I work with not 100%, that's almost not impossible, but I work with mostly natural materials, stones, mud, bamboo, wood, clays, beeswax, whatever is really locally in that situation. So I've never had the disfortunate to go to a land or go to a country, to go to somewhere in Africa or somewhere in Latin America where I cannot work, where I cannot solve a problem, where I cannot make a building, a clinic for some indigenous community, or where I can make a little cultural center. Or there's always a solution when you work with natural materials. I work a lot in the Amazon jungle with Brazilian Indians, and we build stuff with nothing. Well, nothing. We build stuff with whatever's in the jungle. We don't need the stores, we don't need gasoline, we don't need power tools. We just need ingenuity and nature. And this way we guarantee what I said before, a healthy home. That's really what I'm looking at. And that's how I sell my ideas to my clients, because bioarchitecture is still in its diaper stages. So like bamboo, no one's really building with bamboo in Mexico. Colombia's way ahead because Simón Vélez was very active with the drug dealers, and they would just give him lots of money to make wonderful mansions. And that's how he was able to develop beautiful architecture in bamboo with drug money. So that was an exception, and that was his wonderful experience to be able to go that way and then become the world bamboo master that he is. So So I'm going to talk about this combination between bamboo and mud. Mud, when we talk about mud, I mean like adobe building and earth building. I'm sure here in India there's various millions of examples of mud building, and really the architecture in India is by far the most fascinating on the planet. So, is this working? I got to be somewhere? Okay, thank you. So I'd like to situate, this is where I live, and this is where I live. There's Mexico kind of in there, and Brazil's kind of in the dark there. But this is my area of where I act, and I just to give us like a universal notion of what we work with. Another thing that is very important, and I'm saying this, I'm directing my talk really at architects, is that there's something called cosmic energy, which comes from the universe, and then there's telluric energy, which comes from the earth itself. And there's this combination of those two forces. In my country, we have a lot of Catholics, a lot of Roman Catholics, and they use a symbol that's like this. Let me use my other hand. It's like this. The priest and the pope and all my religious people in my country, they have this very common symbol, which is a cross. But it's a very ancient symbol. It's probably maybe even Indian, this symbol. And what it really signifies is cosmic energy, which comes down hard, which is always masculine. The sun is our main form of cosmic energy, right? And in most cultures, the sun is masculine. And then it hits and it makes a nice cross with female energy, which is telluric energy, earth energy. So right where you have that cross is where life begins. So it's important to direct your home, or where you build your home, that it's not on too much telluric energy, because then you can't sleep at night. Does that make sense? We'll go over it. So anyway, so we got the bamboo, we got earth, which I usually use a lot of animals as inspiration. Termites are great architects, great engineers. They do wonderful buildings. They have controlled temperatures. They have they don't flood, like when there's a rain. No one dies in a termite hill. Everything works really. They're very ingenious. And this is a Brazilian bird that makes his home purely out of mud and fiber. We have a lot of examples, 3,000-year-old examples of mud building. I'm not going to talk much about bamboo because many people have done it already. This is probably the best inspiration for bioarchitecture, is this architecture here, which is the igloo, which is made of one material, which is frozen ice or frozen water. And they make a spiral, so you can see how it's a spiral dome. And the bioclimatic in this situation, it's 40 degrees, negative 40 degrees outside, and it's 15 positive inside. So you have a very comfortable home with one material, and when the sun comes out in the summer, it just melts, and his environment impact is zero. So that's really what we're trying to do, is try and do as least damage to the planet as possible as architects. Again, in my country, 50% of the garbage is architecture, is bad architecture. Is architecture that had to be redone or destroyed and thrown into the junkyards or into the trash. It's all 50% is architecture. So talking about this idea of numbers and symmetry, and I guess the Chinese call it feng shui, and there's a word in India, I can't remember right now, for the same concept, and it's all about numbers and numerology. I'm sure everyone here has been to the Taj Mahal, which is, for me, the most beautiful building on the planet. Mainly, not only is it like a magnet. For an architect, this building's like a magnet. It doesn't let you go. You just keep on going closer and closer. And then, okay, it's time to go home. No, I want to see it again and again, and it just doesn't let you go. And it's mainly the numbers. It's mainly the geometry. What's working here is the geometry and the numerology, which is so perfect that you are captivated, subconsciously, obviously. This happens in Egypt. This happens in Mexico with the pyramids, and all these places are built on sacred places where there's an emission of telluric energy. That's why places are sacred. That's why in India they'll have a Ganesh in the middle of nowhere and everyone will touch his head and ring a bell because there's something sacred, there's telluric energy there that draws you to that point. And when you do that in architecture for a residential, for a home, you want the opposite. You want people to sleep like babies. So you've got to measure your energy so that they're not in some high active energy place and then they can't work. That's why these kind of places are circular. This is round. Well, this is part of a giant circle. And football stadiums are circle, and congresses are circle, and motel rooms are circle, because you want that dynamic energy. But as soon as you want to go to sleep, we go to squares. Who would want to sleep in a triangular room? Nobody. And it's just geometry. It's just numbers. Machu Picchu is another classic, another fantastic place which is all about telluric energy. Starfish. I don't know in India if you guys watch SpongeBob SquarePants, maybe, the younger crowd. His best friend is Patrick. Okay, we'll keep on if no one knows him. Yeah, you guys know him? Okay. Well, in this program, it's an American program, and Patrick, SpongeBob's best friend, he's an idiot. He's always like dumb and doing dumb things and saying dumb things. And the reason that this is, and the guy who made this program was a marine biologist, and he knew that these animals are considered dumb because they have no brain. And starfish are they just have a hole in their stomach where everything comes in and everything goes out. That's it. But he's a pentagon. He's a pentagon. He's a 5-star. He's got 5-pointed star, which is the shape of a pentagon. And a pentagon is a very powerful symbol. In fact, Americans used the Pentagon to build a building which is their main base for their imperialism that is dominating, or was dominating, the whole planet for a while there. So again, we're going to get, I could go really into SpongeBob, but I'm going to keep on going because I know I have only a few minutes, sorry. So these numbers are in sunflowers, these numbers are in bird wings, these numbers are in, we saw earlier a slide of Vitruvius of Da Vinci, and the proportion of my face to my nose, to my mouth, and all these things are all boiled down to numbers. And this is the best. This is by far the best. So I'll take some time here. This is by far the best because this is a snowflake. It's 100% water, H2O, there's no minerals, there's no nothing because it started at the very beginning of the hydro cycle when the water goes up, it evaporates and then comes down. And as it comes down, and when water comes down from the clouds, it comes down in the shape of an egg. Why does an egg have a shape of an egg? Besides coming out easy from the chicken. What's the real reason, if you look at an egg, it has a catenary arch and a Roman arch. And we'll get into arches later, because arches are really the fundaments of early architecture, and even today, it's what we use all the time, is arches and domes, and India is like crazy arches and domes everywhere. So this little egg water comes falling down from the sky, spiraling, creating electromagnetic energy, and then it freezes on its way down because it's freezing, and it becomes a 6-sided hexagon, fractalized, which means that every 6th point is exactly identical, and there's not one single snowflake that is the same. Where's the engineer, where's the architect that made the design for all these billions of snowflakes that come falling onto the Himalayas? You see what I'm saying? There's architecture in nature, it's inherent in water. And it's this energy that we're working, it's really this is where we try and focus on this energy to make beautiful architecture, because beauty is, again, we can put beauty into numbers, we can put color into numbers, we can put music into numbers, we can put all these things into ways which comes down to mathematics, right? But it just would get boring if I would say, okay, I can make a building that's 8 by 5, 13 by 8, 21 by 8, using the Fibonacci code. right? Because all those numbers in the Fibonacci code are in this same proportion. So there you have it, right? This goes way back to the Greeks. This was obviously in Persia. The Indians understood this perfectly. So this is just the design I'm working on now. Anyway, so my bamboo experience starts in Brazil. My father and mother bought a ranch, which was totally deforested, and they started planting. And one of our biggest allies to reforestate the whole place, 22 hectares, was bamboo. So this is my first bamboo experience. In 2003, I made a little house for my goat and her husband and some other baby goats that came later. Then I made retaining walls. And then I found this book. This book is the Bible for the bamboo, for the bambooer, or bamboo-es, how do you? Bambucero, we call them bambucero in Spanish. This is the Bible. This is by Oscar Hidalgo Lopez. May he rest in peace. He passed away a couple years ago. And this is really a fantastic book. It's on PDF online, but if you can get the real deal, it's really, really a fascinating book. And it totally inspired me to go further, just to stop like horsing around and get more into bamboo. And just practicing, because I was working with mud and bamboo. And I got so into bamboo that I became like a bamboo pirate or a trafficker. I used to go to Africa or Europe to do lectures or workshops, and I'd see a bamboo wall, and I would take the bamboo rhizomes and put them in my luggage, which in my country you can't take live plants into my country. Or I'd go to the botanical gardens and wait for a rainy day and have a kitchen knife like stuck in my pants and walk in. Don't do this, just bad advice, but anyway, this is what I did. And I'd be in the botanical gardens like digging and waiting for the guards to... But that's actually a positive human endeavor. We like to propagate species. It's like monkeys. They eat a cacao, they look for the best fruit, and then they plant the seed. Most animals do agriculture. And if the botanical garden burns one day, they can always come to my ranch because there I have the species that they need, and we can replant it. So it's good to like keep on planting and keep bamboo going everywhere. So this is my farm where we have the Dendrocalamus asper growing. And then I started experimenting, making geodesic domes with Phyllostachys and mud, and really getting into this combination. And the beauty about mud, when you work with mud, it freezes the decomposition of bamboo or any vegetable, any vegetable matter. So it just, you can make a bamboo structure, and then you can mud it up, and then you can come back 100 years later, and the bamboo is like yesterday. There's absolutely no decomposition. So making these geodesic domes, making this big structure for our like eating room. This was on the beach in Brazil, near Rio de Janeiro, where I had a little property on the beach. And this is one of our, changing the subject real quick, but this is our waterless toilet unit that we use as well. Made the little bathrooms with bamboo, mud and bamboo again. And then I had a great experience working in the Amazon with the locals, and they had bamboo. Here you can see all the beams are bamboo with palm leaves. We're making the walls. And it's really amazing, you can find bamboo everywhere. I did a lecture in Portugal, a workshop in Portugal, and the Portuguese were like, no, we don't have bamboo. And then this is the Álvaro Siza School in Porto, which is one of the fanciest bamboo architectural schools in Europe. And right there in the gardens, they had Phyllostachys nigra. I was like, you got bamboo right here. And they're like, that's bamboo? I said, yeah, that's bamboo. So there is still a lot to be learned, and a lot to be done. So this was the clinic we built. This was for the doctor, the local Indian doctor, and he needed a space to, especially mainly for pregnant women to give birth. So we made this little house together using palm and bamboo and mud and rocks. No, nothing modern, and it's still there today. This is about 7 years ago. Natural paints that we use vegetable dyes to make the paints. This is again on the beach property. We made this little workspace to do our workshops. And then this is Jörg Stamm. I'm sure much of you heard of Jörg Stamm. He's a interesting German-Colombian bamboo builder. He gave this workshop, and he makes these nice bamboo hammocks and bamboo cars and bamboo boats, and he's got a lot of action. This is one of his projects in Bali. So again, we use bamboo for roofing. And then in 2013, I got well, what I wanted to say is to the young people here is that if you're going to do some builds and you're going to, like we're going to do this afternoon, we're going to get our hands cut and dirty and so forth, is that bamboo grows on you for some reason. And this has happened to all my friends that are young architects and that start with no real idea what they're doing, and then they start making a few things, and you make your dog house, or you make a little comb, or you make a little bow and arrow, or something, some little fun thing, and then you just get addicted to the bamboo cycle. And you get addicted to the plant, and you get addicted to building and to the other species, and to the various colors and the various shapes that bamboo has. Over 1,800 different types to choose from. And mud has a very interesting experience too, because it brings us kind of back to our childhood in a way. And it's very healthy. Mud has the same flora as your stomach, so you can actually eat the wall if you have to. And not only that, but mud, like mud homes, are totally thermal because they're alive. If you use brick or cinder block, you have a dead material because it's gone through many fires, high temperatures, and a lot of chemicals. And by working with mud, you're working with something that is alive, that has just been dried in the sun or in the shade. So there's nanoparticles of water in there that keep the clay together. And it's the water that traffics the heat from side to side, from the inside of the wall to the outside. That's why there's no better building material than adobe or mud for making homes. Even today, you can put adobe in the ring with any other building material, and adobe will always win. Because it has so many fine qualities. It's non-toxic, it's free. If you buy the land, the adobe mix is right there. It's totally recyclable. You can tear down an adobe house that's 1,000 years old and reuse that same mud. Or if you don't want to use it, you just throw it in the yard and plants will grow there. And if I dig a big hole, I just plant some bamboo and then throw the bamboo in there, and in 5 years the mud will be back. And the main thing is that it keeps the house 24 degrees year-round. You don't need air conditioning, which is full of freon and full of other disgusting bacteria. What else does it do? This is really good for modern people. It's a barrier for Wi-Fi and all these G5 that they're making now. If you have a cell phone in an Adobe house, you have to go to the window or you have to go outside to use it. This is actually positive because cell phones, as you know, are full of radiation and they'll give you cancer in the long run. So anyway, in 2013, we got this very interesting project to make a cultural center in a very poor neighborhood in one big city in Mexico. So I always make the bamboo, the adobe factories on the land. That's like one of our first rules, is make the adobe where you're going to build.
Mr. Peter, 5 more minutes.
So, sorry? 5 minutes, perfect. So we make a model and we get busy. This is a Mexican, it's a cousin of bamboo, it's carrizo. And we bring in the bamboo to do the roofs. So it's 4,000 square meters in adobe with grass roofs, eco-sanitation, and finally we build a bamboo structure to cover the main patio because it's for orchestras, which are 150 poor kids playing Mozart and so forth. It was inaugurated 2016 and it's going really well. Here's another workshop with Jed Long and Martin Mortera. We did some more mud bamboo mix. This is my office. It's also bamboo and mud. And then in 2017, we had a very big earthquake in Mexico. 2 in September. In the same month, we had 2 very, very big earthquakes. And half of the south was destroyed. So all the architects and just got together and everyone went to the areas that were devastated to help and see how we could build. And the main inspiration for that book I showed you, Oscar Hidalgo's book, was in fact an earthquake in Colombia in 1986, that when he went to the shanty towns, he saw that all the homes had fallen except the bamboo homes. So he was like, damn, okay, bamboo works. And that was his inspiration. So we knew that bamboo was something we could take to these earthquake-infected areas. So this is what the town looked originally. It was all an adobe town. Unfortunately, not anymore. The churches were falling apart. This woman's home came down. So my first reaction was education. We have to give lectures. We have to hype up the adobe. We have to hype up the bamboo because bamboo is like it's plague. In Brazil, we call it the plague. It's like people burn it and they destroy it or they just use it for firewood or something. It's really, really has a bad name. And adobe as well. Adobe is for poor people. It's no good. It's just dirt. We want progress. We want cancer. so my first reaction, okay, let's talk wonderfully about adobe. Let's get everyone excited about earth and about vegetable architecture. So we just, and no one gave us any attention. We were actually working against the grain. Everyone was like, no, sorry, mister, we want block. The government's going to give us cinder blocks. We don't want your earth ideas. We don't want your bamboo ideas. We want steel, and we want block, and we want cement. But I kept on. I was persistent. I said, well, let's just keep on going. And I've been there a year and a half. And Clinton came by to show us how to plant nice bamboo. And there's Martin doing some crazy structures. And we just kept on going, making adobes. This is Laurent Coquemon, who's a wonderful master in earth building from France. And this is the little home I'm building now because there was this young wife who had 3 kids, or has 3 kids, and she was the only person of the whole community that would come to my workshops and say, Mister, I want adobe, I like adobe, I want the waterless toilet, I want the bamboo roof, I want the grass roof. The only person in the whole town. And now that we're building her little home, all the neighbors are starting to come about. And we're creating the buzz that we wanted initially. In Mexico we call it counter jealousy. At first no one wanted it, and now we created like this reverse jealousy, I guess would be the word in English. Now everyone's like, oh, I want one of those. Now that it's so cute and it's a nice little house. Anyway, so I also use bamboo in my vegetable garden. It's great for flooring. It's great for mixing. The leaves have silica, so you can mix them with your mud mix. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Excellent, Peter. You have taken us through a different presentation and experience and appreciate. Beautiful. I know. We are late by half an hour for the lunch. I think I will go for 1 or 2 questions, something.
I would like to ask.
Here.
One moment, please, everybody. So, we are preparing not only for the workshop, for the construction. So please, we have the gloves and the security teams in the lobby. Please, if somebody needs, take the gloves for the workshop, please. And bon appetit. See you now.
Bishop Martin, can you tell what time are you starting?
So now we have a program of handicraft, and after we are going to the workshop. So we are making 4 constructions now in the place. 3 is here, and 1 is in the Hotel Infal. So if somebody wants to go to the Hotel Infal, please contact me. And the other persons can start working in 3 p.m. is the workshop of construction, please. So we are a lot of people, so we need to take care with the tools, we need to take care with the security. Okay? Now we return and we can talk about the construction and the workshop for the afternoon. Yes? Some question now?
Martin, it's safety, not security.
Dr. Barafi, this is Suzanne. I'm here. I would like to make a comment on Dr. Avinov's comments. It was excellent, very excellent presentation. I appreciated many aspects that you brought up and the importance of the training. And I think it's also, what I'd like to comment about was the species selection. And yesterday it was also mentioned about trying to maximize the potential of the native bamboos here in Manipur. And often, in my experience of 25 or so years in bamboo, is people see the progress of China and the Moso bamboo, and they want to take it back to their country and replicate this success. I would venture to say that's almost impossible. Though that bamboo scenario in China has been cultivated for over 600 years, and it's extremely long tradition of collaboration and cooperation, and then extremely large investments, and it would be very difficult to attain in our lifetime, yet alone the lifetime of our children. So I would like to emphasize to Manipur and to the farmers that are maybe listening that it's really important that we look at our native species for development of handicrafts or industrialization, because not only human beings, the entire ecosystem of the countryside, of the forest, of the hillsides are tied into those native species. And so to replace those with exotic species affects not only the community of humans, but the community of life. And I think that's very dangerous. And we've also seen examples of introducing exotic species, especially when you're looking at monopodial bamboos, what they can do to the native environment. So I think that's one point I want to echo and expand upon your point. And the second also is that I think it's very important for us when we're talking about developing the forest sector in bamboo, in Manipur, that we don't cut down forests to plant bamboo. That defeats the whole purpose of the sustainability issue, right? Because degraded lands, yes, that's a perfect place for bamboo, because bamboos are very adaptable. But we don't want to replace natural forests with bamboo plantations. That is not a sustainable solution. Thank you.
Yes, true, very true. What you said is well taken.
Yeah, very well said. And it's like the wisdom is there. The people, traditional people, they are using their resources, they know. Even we get a lot of information when we go to the rural area. The thing like the technologists and the people who are working in this sector, they can improvise those things. Already existing, like we are working in Arunachal. There is a nishi type. Nishi tribe, they used to make a Nishi basket. So that is very traditional product, and every children, every person in the community, they know how to make that Nishi basket. What the designer has done, they have utilized that skill, that form, to a different product. That basket was later on introduced as a lamp shade. So that is the thing that is already there, and like bamboo, definitely when we are looking towards weaving, at that time we need weavability, we need the texture of bamboo. So there are certain species which gives a better result. Local people, they are using for structures, we use different bamboos. For making utility product and for running machines, processing machines, we need a different bamboo. And the character of machine-friendly bamboo is straightness. As much as a straight bamboo is, it is more machine-friendly. So we have to find out those types of resources, and that is already there. Just the thing is, we have to find it out. So we can use those things.
Yes, well taken. Any more
one more question. Hello. Abhinav, I would like to thank you because your discussion has been from biomass bamboo to value addition bamboo. Continuing your talk from the tea break, like the madam has said, the bamboo, each bamboo is specific for its area. I am also in this field for the last 32 years. The bamboo characteristics, if you bring from an exotic place, replacing the natural bamboo of that place, by my experience, by my knowledge, I go by that. The bamboo grain formation or the fiber formation is dependent on the pH of the soil, the EC of the water there, and the ultraviolet radiation, the sunlight. What bamboo you get in Tamil Nadu and what bamboo you get in Himachal Pradesh are different because it is away from the tropic and the grain formations are different. I should thank you because you have added value to this meeting, value to this group, and from the biomass you have taken to the value things. And the straightness of the crookedness, the bamboo depends on the environment. Bamboo alone, a monoculture of bamboo has not been very successful. If when it is mixed up with other crops, maybe other crops roots are supporting the bamboo roots in the soil, it may be giving the wind protection. There are so many other things which we need to discuss with many learned people here. Thank you so much, Abhinav, for your value addition or skill forming of bamboo from a product to value. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you.
And last question.
Hello, sir. Hello. Sir, in bamboo topic, flowering is a very important subject. Please give attention on this.
Yeah. Flowering is basically genetic character. They repeat after a certain number of years, depending on the species and the nutrition status of the soil. It's a big topic by itself. Just because the lunchtime, I just give it to you in 1 minute time. Every species, like Dendrocalymus giganteus, will flower once in 110 years. Tulda will flower in 135 years. And when it comes to Melagona basifera, 47 years. But when it comes to vulgaris, they never flower at all. Balcova, they never flower at all. Tulda, Newtons, very rarely they flower. So depending on the species, they change. And also, depending on the cultivation method, the flowering is a function of nutrition available to the plant. If there is more nitrogen, they never flower. They get postponed for further. Only when there is a stress, either it is a moisture stress or it is a nutrition stress, and then the plant trying to complete its life cycle by producing a seed. But there are many sterile species there which can beat this process. Anyway, because of lunchtime, this is a different topic. Anything else?
I had a concern actually regarding since yesterday I'm seeing there's a lot of promotion of bonded raising bonded boards and laminated bamboo sheets to be used as a technical material. But my concern is are we just creating like FRPs which are banned in most of the European nations or whatever? Are we just substituting glass fibers by bamboo and calling it sustainable? It's I'm just trying to understand, is my concern valid or is it just a invalid concern, and like after 100 years we realized, oh, whatever we did with bamboo was not sustainable as much as possible. So this is a question to Peter and others, like whoever can answer this.
So whenever we are looking towards engineered product, bamboo glue board or bamboo slat board or a bamboo mat board, scrimble board. So definitely what we are doing, we are bamboo, we are splitting it, disintegrating it, then applying glue, reintegrating it and making board. In due course of time, we are putting energy, we are putting glue resins which do have emissions, so carbon footprints are there. But why we are promoting bamboo glue board is a different scenario. We are replacing and we are searching out a substitute of wood. Since bamboo is a sustainable material, the growth rate is like we call it as like 6 times higher as compared to wood. So bamboo, we are treating it as a sustainable material. So that's why we are converting it to bamboo wood. First thing. So definitely technology side and new product range, we always need to experiment those things and we have to adopt those things. But right now in our situation, in our country situation where we are maximum dependent on forest resources, we do not have plantation and the quality of bamboo what we need. So presently we are not in the situation where we can make sustainable these types of products. Instead we can use those products for certain other value added things. We do have our facility, we can make bamboo board, but how to use bamboo and how to link this bamboo with livelihood and with the rural people. So there we are insisting, like we are bringing bamboo, we are using that bamboo and making product development which are directly made without using any type of glue board technology. So right now we are exporting agarbatti stick from Taiwan and China. So we are not able to make our own agarbatti stick, so board is at different level. So we can use bamboo processing machine for processing those things and further value addition. That is for sure.
Dr. Moganty is there, I think he is a director from Uprity. He is a man with a lot of experience.
Just 1 minute. But we are using resin or bonding materials, but that is very minuscule to the entire product. Like bamboo is a sustainable, renewable and biodegradable material, and it is a carbon neutral, and it stores a lot of carbon dioxide, so it does climate change. So there is no doubt or question about using bamboo, but as far as I'm concerned, of course, but it is very minuscule. If you compare glass or if you compare steel, everything is energy intensive and they are not biodegradable. So on that count, bamboo is more sustainable. Bamboo scrimble boards or bamboo mat board or bamboo, any type of engineered product is much more better than your steel, asbestos, even traditional wood. We say wood is good, but bamboo is better because bamboo matures in 4 years. Whereas wood, if you go to traditional wood like teak or sal, then it's 100 years. So bamboo is better than the forest wood because we have to conserve the forest, but bamboo can grow in any land. Mrs. Susan Lucas already told that it is adaptable, quite adaptable. So let us go for bamboo which grows fast and in 4 years it matures, and there should not have any doubt about the resin or the glue because it is a very small part and that I can manage. So that's the answer to the question what is raised by our friend.
Actually, the thing is like there is something called like end of life cycle, like end of life. End of life. Like, what do you do about it? Like even today, most of the problem that we face is because like people talk of recycling and upscaling, but the energy that you put in recycling is much more than creating the new product itself. So like would it be similar situation like after 100 years we realize, oh, like because we use resin the bamboo doesn't disintegrate, so does it disintegrate earlier as compared to an FRP which will stay forever, or is it like better if you use bamboo with resin or something?
No, bamboo will degrade. With resin it is only for binding, and when after 50 years or 60 years you no longer use that, bamboo is disintegrated in nature. It is not a, you cannot say that it is transferred, it is still there, it is just a composite. So bamboos and resins will be free of each other, and it will disintegrate, it will part of the soil, the carbon will go back to the soil. So you should not have any doubt about it.
Biodegradable.
It is biodegradable.
Dr. Bharati, final question for you. I'm sorry. So we are into the same thing, tissue culture. I have certain questions for the tissue culture because we are also producing a lot in tissue culture, but when compromising the farmers, it is not so easy for bamboo. We can talk about corporates who enter into bamboo, like we can do bioenergy, so many things like that, like plywoods, agarbattis. But when we talk about farmers, the farmers who is having below 5 acres with less investment, so what they can do with the bamboo plants? They are asking what to do. We can't sell as a pole. There are more poles. Even for 1 rupee, 2 rupee, no one is going to take the bamboo per kg. And even they're asking for less moisture content. So treating is not so easy for a farmer. So bamboo can be industrial crop, corporate crop, forest crop. But what about role of tissue culture in bamboo? So if I talk to a farmer that please plant bamboo for 3 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres, I can't guarantee for a buyback. So this is the problem. So even though
it's not a problem, it is a market. We never looked at the different market. For example, if somebody is growing tomato, a farmer is growing tomato, he is spending 10,000 rupees to buy stakes, and that bamboo stakes he can make it by growing bamboo on the bud. You don't say like, you should go completely into this. Corporate model is different, farmer model is different. Farmer model, you put only in the buds and you will take that as his own use. For example, for banana plantation. Banana plantation is only 1,200 plants. He needs 2,400 poles. Each pole is buying at 80 rupees and he spends not less than 20,000 rupees only for the pole. And that pole, he can just plant 60 plants in the border and he can collect it. And tissue culture is a tool. Tissue culture is a different process. Cultivation is a different process. When it comes to farmer, which market you are looking at it? Today, in Chhattisgarh, farmers are growing bamboo in large scale, only to sell stakes to the tomato farmers. They come, they with a 100-acre farmer, he puts 2 acres of bamboo only for staking purpose. He wants thin bamboo. He doesn't want a big bamboo like Bhima bamboo and all that. He wants a thin bamboo, small bamboo, which can produce more number of shoots. So when they plant very close by, they are getting it. So this market is different. See, we're not spoken the morning about, on the yesterday also about the market. There are different market sectors. Some are large market sector, some are niche markets, some are high value product, where bamboos are sold even at, like toothpick for example, 10 lakh rupees a ton. We are buying every day. 10 lakh rupees. 1 million rupee is 1 ton of toothpick, whereas when it comes to the biomass, it's going to be only 4,000 rupees. So the different markets are the different markets. So one has to really look at what species to grow. As Dr. Susan said, like, you should be region specific, local species, and improved clone net, which is not done. Today, bamboo is not being developed into a breed, proper breed. We know only at the level of Tunda, Balkova, Hamiltoni, Asper. We do not know what are the clones in it. Today, banana, sugarcane, everything has got a lot of clones, high yielding clones. That should be given to the farmer to make higher yield. And the effort needed to grow bamboo is very less. And when you say no market, no, it's not correct. Like, today as I said, incense stick is imported. 90% of the incense stick is imported. And, round stick can be made, there are machines available. But we don't have the right quality bamboo in India.
The machinable bamboos.
The long internode bamboo, the quantity is not available in the right place. In fact, ITC wanted to introduce this in a big way. They wanted to give 3 lakh plants to the people free of cost in Tripura. They did it. And only tissue culture helped them out. Now, no other technology could help them out.
Because of quantity.
The quantity. So it's not the corporate. Corporate has done a job. But the farmer. They gave only 10-15 plants to each farmer as a homestead bamboo. So the people are going to grow on the homestead bamboo. When the production is more, automatically come to the industry. So these are all small steps taken towards this. I think it's a 2 different topics.
Dr. Bharati,
I think we can discuss further after the lunch.
Hello, one more point, last point. Dr. Bharati, I want to pose a question to Abhinav and Mr. Mohanty. Like bamboo needs treatment. Nowadays we are using boric and borax. Boric and borax is very expensive to procure from market. And that people are using, you must be hearing about the Borpeta story, how they use an insecticide. And all the products got returned because they use a different way of treatment. And secondly, for the handicraft sector, we have readily available this resin that is PBA, water-based, and oil-based. And now EPT and all are developing new resins, but they are not available in the market. Because the handicraft sector, we need like Fevicol is a brand in India, so we are reliable on it. Somebody said if you use Fevicol, then it will be rejected. And second thing is bamboo, again, you see what we call this, like Professor Yantalam said, we have to deform. Now everybody is deforming from the whole bamboo. Whole bamboo is very difficult because after processing only we can do it. For the product development, value addition, people are doing lots of work. And with the intervention of IIT Bombay, the Industrial Design Center, Bamboo Studio, they have started in a small, very small way about the mass production in the handicraft level. I would like to highlight only these 2 points to you and Mr. Dr. Mohanty.
Thank you. There are bio-based resins and bio-based pesticides are available, but they are not as good as effective as the borax or whatever the resins available. But always efforts are there. We can blend to certain extent, and our resin expertise sitting here, you also know sound from our consultant sector. But this needs discussion and consultancy with us.
Problem is availability in the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is also tendency the people to buy their interest in it.
Yeah.
So it is time passing of time.
Yeah, I'm very much thankful. I think it shows the kind of interest in bamboo. I'm very happy, but unfortunately we are standing waiting the lunch and this. And I thank the organizer for giving me the opportunity to chair the session. And there are 2 speakers, both Dr. Abhinav and Peter spoke very well, enlightened with a lot of knowledge. I think he's going to continue further in the workshop. Thank you for the opportunity.
We request the speakers to partake lunch on the left side of the stage and the delegates and participants on the right side of the stage. We have a workshop at Hapta Kanjibung, that is a ground about 100 meters away from this hall. Demonstration and pavilion construction by Lifeline Development Organization. Please proceed to Hapta Kanjibung right after lunch. There are 2 exhibitions going on simultaneously. The first exhibition at the hall downstairs and the second exhibition at Hapta Kanjibung. Poster session starts tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. After lunch, please proceed to Hapta Kanjibung and please visit the exhibition downstairs also. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your lunch.